Hello everyone. Very good morning and good evening to all. Let us start our today's session. So regarding the project, so even if it is a power center and IICS, the project architecture will be similar. The only thing is that the connections and the different environments will be differ. Even if you are working on power center, so our aim is to fetch the data from the source system and load it into the target data warehousing. So we'll be having different transformation logic. We are applying the transformation logic by using the ETL tool and we are loading. It is similar. So even if you are working on the ab initio or SSIS or any ETL projects, the same thing we are going to do. The only thing is the tool wise it will differ. The same way in Informatica IICS as well, it is similar to Informatica Power Center. So we will use the same architecture, but since the companies are moving towards on the cloud and they do have a lot of competition with the cloud service providers. And that's why the Informatica also moved from on-premises server to cloud server, and they are providing all the services as a all the ETL, all the tool as a service. So whatever the service we need to have, we can get it from them, and we have to pay for that. So if you take any projects, ETL projects, yeah, definitely we will follow this particular steps, right? Methodology. So we may go with waterfall methodology or agile methodology. It's very few projects still we are using waterfall methodologies, and most of the project we move to agile projects. So if you take a waterfall methodology, all these steps from requirement to production support will go for sequential way. So we'll go for requirement, we'll get the requirement, and then we will finish the requirement. And once it is completed, once we freeze the requirement, then we'll go for the design, right? So one by one. So we'll go for design, and then the design is completed, and we'll go for development. So the design we have different kind of design. I will tell you what is the different kind of designs we have. So once development completed, we will move on to the testing phase. Then it will be UAT testing and SIT testing, different kind of testing we will do with the different testing team. And testing has been completed. We will move on to the change advisory board, the CAB approvals. So this is a separate team. They will check all the approvals and the lower environments status and everything. Then they will approve it. Okay, so we can go ahead for the production live, and we'll go for the live deployment. Before going to the live deployment or after getting the live deployment, we have to provide a knowledge transition to the production support team if we have separate team, or if the same team is going to do the production support, then we have to create a Confluence page or KEDB documents. We might be having L1 team, so we have to provide knowledge to them. So it is similar to our Informatica architecture, Informatica only. The method wise, we will follow all the process, same process. Only thing is the tool wise differ. Okay. If you are going for agile methodology, entirely it is different, right? So waterfall methodologies, we will follow all the conventional model, and we'll one by one we'll go for sequential. And if any changes comes, then once we will freeze the requirement, then we will not accept the changes, right? But in agile, yes, we can take it up any priority task. We can take it up any sprint. It will be under sprint model. So we'll accept it, all this changes. So that's what we will move on. So we do have, I will explain this agile methodology tomorrow, but what is this requirement? And previously the requirement we used to get by using the requirement document. system requirement specification document or different documents we'll have. So based on the requirement, we will proceed with the design and we'll go for development. So once development completed, we'll go for testing. Okay. So we'll go for different domains we have in our real-time projects. So we have the banking domain and banking and financial services. We have BFSI and insurance domain, retail domain, healthcare domain. So different domains we have. So most of the banking domain, yes, we do have ETLs, right? So most of the banking we are using ETL, and we are doing all the ETL process for the business analytics reports. And even insurance domain, retail domain, healthcare domain, life sciences, telecom, and manufacturing and logistic, we are using this particular ETL tools. Okay, so majority of the projects we will use Informatica Power Center and Informatica IICS. Now, each and every projects, which whatever the projects they are using Informatica Power Center, they are migrating to IICS. So after 1 or 2 years, so most of them will migrate to IICS. So that's what the scope for our IICS, right? Yes. So whenever you are making your projects, so make sure that you are making the correct domain and the client and country and project durations. So from start date to end date. So all this you have to make, and you can go for different projects. Okay, the projects. If you are in banking domain, so we do have different teams, right? So in banking, core banking, all the core related tables, yes, we'll have. So all the core tables like a transaction table and all the dimension table, fact tables, all the core tables, the core team, they will load it. So from the source system to data warehouse. And risk and compliance team, so we do have different teams. So they will take care all the risk related data, risk and compliance related data. And payments team, they will take care about the payments related data and marketing, regulatory, merchant reporting, pricing, sales, wealth management, right? Different teams we will have. So based on the teams, they will take they will take the data from source system and load it into the data warehouse for the reporting purpose. So mostly like we are using EDW for the reporting. Okay. So if you ask me the architecture, okay, so most of the project will follow the same architecture. So we might be getting the data from the source system. Okay. So source system might be on-premises server. We may get the data from our own source system, or we may get the data from third-party vendor application. Okay. Say for an example, one of the banking, if you take one of the banking, so for the wealth management, yes, we might be using different applications, right? See, if you take one particular wealth management platform, okay, so this is one of the company, they are providing all the wealth management platform for different banks. So if you take this one example, I'm saying, if you take this particular company, okay, so it this FNZ, so they are going to provide the wealth management for different banks. These are all the client for them. So for particular bank, if they need to, if they want to get the customer's wealth management data, so they will integrate. They will collect all the information. They will manage the wealth management, and then they will get the data to they will manage it all this, and the particular company will pay for them. Okay. At the end of the day, I want to get the reports from them, right? So I need to get the reports from them. So they are different teams. They are different teams. They will be managing with different database and everything. And we are like a different company. Then we need to get the details, right? So they might be sending the data through flat files, file system, or they might be sending the data. 99% they'll be sending the data through database only, or some APIs. So they will be having the data. You have to send the request. You have to get the data. So it's a difference. So whether we are going to get the data from API calls or we are getting the data from the flat files. But anyhow, we need to get the data, right? It might be third-party vendors. This is one of this particular company is one of the third-party vendor for these companies. They will manage it, like the mutual fund, all this wealth management. They will manage it. So if you take the source system, we may get the data from our on-premises server, like a Oracle, SQL server, cloud servers, and flat files. And flat files, it will be placed into the SFTP. So they will be placing the data in the SFTP path or Dropbox. Okay, so they will be placing the file. So from that particular SFTP, we'll be consuming the file. So each and every projects, they will follow some different frameworks. So most of the project, they will use this kind of framework to read the data. Okay, so here we have the different source systems and third-party vendors. We'll be consuming the data from this particular source system to our EDW by using IICS. So EDW, you can say, since we are using that cloud, you can say EDW on GCP, EDW on Redshift, okay, enterprise data warehouse. Like you have Snowflake. So you can say like it's Snowflake, we are using the EDW, enterprise data warehouse or data lake, we can say. So since we are using like GCP or AWS or Snowflake or Azure, and we need to have IICS, right? We are going to work with different cloud providers, the cloud connectivity. So we will use IICS. Still, some of many companies we are using both, like existing framework. Existing framework is running on the Informatica Power Center, and all the new development we are doing it on the IICS. Okay, the source system. Yes, we have like in the migration phase. So all the source systems here, whatever the source system we have, maybe on-premises server, cloud server, or uh, the different source applications, vendor applications, vendor file. Okay, so we may get the data. So different source system, we might be getting the data. So previously we used to have Informatica Power Center. We'll be pulling the data and then loading into a staging layer. So we do have one landing zone here. Okay, into our enterprise data warehouse. We will first land the data from, so raw data should be landed into the enterprise data warehouse. We will land the data here. So it's nothing but it's a staging layer. So we will call it as a staging, right? So staging is nothing but our landing zone. So we will have the landing zone here and we will make this, we will land the data into this particular, just a second, sorry. Okay, so we will pull the data from source and do the transformation logic and land the data into. So for the landing zone, we will not do any transformation logic, just we will take data from source and we will load it into a staging layer. So the stage will be truncate and load. Always will be a truncate and load. Okay. So different projects will use different architecture, different framework. So we'll be collecting the data. If you take this is our Informatica Power Center. So existing framework is running on Informatica Power Center and new one, we are doing it on IICS. Okay. So all your cloud connectivity, we are doing it and we are moving whatever we are existing mapping is existing workflows is running on Informatica Power Center. We are moving on to IICS. So this migration it's going on now. A new development we are doing it on the IICS. Then we'll be moving the data to staging layer. But this layer is similar. Some companies they already moved from Teradata or Netezza to this cloud providers, right? So slowly they are moving. So existing data we are using it, but the new one development is completely on the cloud. We are doing it. And the staging layer is nothing but landing zone. We will collect the data from heterogeneous sources. Okay, heterogeneous sources. And for this staging layer, we will do one-to-one load, direct mapping. We will pull the data and load it here, right? Staging layer. So once it has been loaded, then we have to apply the transformation logic. So here, right? So different layers we'll be having, like work layer 1 or intermediate layer 1 or level 1, level 2. It depends on the project. We will be uh, naming it, the naming conventions. Okay, so finally we'll have the core layers. So if you take here, it'll be a work layer and it'll be a core layer, or level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. So different levels we'll have, or intermediate layer 1, intermediate layer 2, in that way. So the data is moving from one layer to another layer. Even within the team also, it will be moving one particular team to another particular team. Okay, the data is moving from one team to another team, source team, dependent team, data is moving. So based on that, okay, in the dependent team, the downstream or upstream, they need to, for us, upstream need to process the data, and processed data will be passed to the next team. Then they will consume the data, they will process it. So here, if you take this is our source, from source to target, this will be your staging layer. We are loading through one-to-one load. Again, the stage table is source for this work layer load, source to target. Again, this one is source, this one is target. So core layer completely on incremental load. Okay, so incremental load means already data is available. We are merging the data. We are finding whether the data is available or it has been changed. So based on that, we are merging the data, mostly like SCD types for the dimension tables, and the fact tables, it will get loaded. So once all the core tables has been loaded here, then we will go for the, so for all the teams core tables, it will be maintained here. No one will have access to this core layer. Then it will be moved to the semantic layer, semantic or interface layer. We'll call it as interface layer. Okay. So interface layer means, so we'll be having the data. Okay, the semantic layer. So we'll call it as a semantic layer. It's nothing but our interface layer. So interface layer means, so interface layer or semantic layer, all the views will be created here. Okay. So all the views will be created from here. Core tables, no one will have access. Views will be created. From the views only, it will be consumed by the downstream applications. Okay, downstream data visualization or any downstream, they will be consuming from here only. And the merchant reporting, customer reporting, all the kind of reporting, we'll be taking the data from these views only. So this is what normally it will happen in our real-time project also. If you take this architecture is common for both IICS and Informatica. Most of the project we were using this kind of architecture only. So since we have already loaded, say for an example, we might be having different frequency of data load, like a one day once data, okay, daily load, or weekly load, monthly load, quarterly load. History jobs is running on quarterly or yearly, monthly, all these jobs, and daily load, intraday jobs, like 30 minutes once, 1 hour once, 4 hours once, 8 hour once. It depends on the project, depends on the volume. They will go for intraday jobs or daily jobs. So based on the job frequency, it will be scheduled, and based on the schedule, it will pull the data from source and based on the audit columns. So we'll be having, it's a different project. They will use different columns. So some project will use created date, updated date. Some project will use commit timestamp. Some project they will use data date. Okay, it's a different data date or some batch date, some different kind of columns they will use. Based on the audit columns, we'll pass the source qualifier query, the source, and then we'll pull the data from source and we will process it. So it will be passed. Say for an example, Today I'm running, batch date is today's date, 19th April 2023. If batch date is 19th April, if it is daily jobs, so it should be passed with 18th April. Okay, so 18th April to 19th April, whatever the data has been, some cutoff time you will be having it. And based on the cutoff time, we'll be pulling the data from here to here. And it will be loaded into staging layer, right? So based on the parameter file, the value will be passed. So even why we are passing like a batch date. So instead of this particular today's date, if the load is failed for last 4 days or 5 days, okay, then if I'm going to rerun it, it should catch up from the wherever it has left out, right? It should not run from yesterday's data alone. So then we will miss the data. So that's why each and every teams they will have some framework tables, and some teams they will say like they will make an entry in the table also. Okay, today's load has been completed. They will make an entry. So what is the maximum date we have uploaded? Then it will be a batch date. We will check whether yesterday's date load has been completed. Yes. Then next date will be passed to the parameter file. So we do have different kind of framework in the projects. So based on the framework, we will be pulling the data. So we do have different resource system here. Say for an example, here in our one of the project, we used to have different layers here. QA stage, something like QA stage. Source from the source, we will the separate team is there, data quality team. So they will do all the data quality checks. They will load it into a QA stage layer. We will get the data. So our source team is our source is QA stage. So all the tables will be available in the QA stage. Then QA means quality assurance or the all the quality assurance they will do it and then they will load the data. Okay, data quality. So from here we have to consume. It depends. Okay. So but here we have one layer called OIS layer. OIS, not ODS. It's a spelling. And this layer we do have last 10 days of data. So in that particular project, they do have this kind of architecture. Why? Because we should not go and hit the source systems. Whatever the source system we do have, we will replicate the data to this layer. Last 10 days of load. So all the even SFTP or anything, it will be loaded into like one table. If they are placing the file, it will get loaded into one table. Okay. So based on only one column, it will get loaded. And based on the delimiter, we will pull the data. So what is the delimiter? Based on delimiter, we will load it into another table and we will define the data type of the particular columns and we will load it into the different layers. So different kind of architecture we'll be following to read the data from source, landing into the staging layer. It will be a truncate and load. So why we are doing the truncate and load? Already the data has been loaded up to yesterday. So today's data alone will be pulling from the source and then we are doing the transformation logic based on the business team, whatever that the transformation logic they are providing, we will do it and it will be move on to the core layer, the semantic layer, all the different layers, and it will be consumed by the downstreams. So it's like you might be using Teradata, you might be using Netezza, you might be using uh, the cloud system. Okay, say for example, if you are explaining, I'm working on to this, I'm working on this particular IICS, you can say we do have heterogeneous source system and we are pulling the data for our business analytics reporting and we are using EDW, so Snowflake as the enterprise data warehouse, okay, or enterprise data cloud we are using. Or you can say if you very well you know already like Redshift, different cloud system, if you know, you can you can explain them. This is what the data cloud we are using. Okay. So previously we were using one of the cloud is Redshift we were using, and from the Redshift only all the reports will be passed. Report will be generated and it will be placed to the Dropbox, the merchant Dropbox. So that's what it will mostly the report will be getting generated. So this is the architecture from the source system. And even if you want to explain them, this architecture you can explain them. So let me explain the architecture in that way you have to explain. So we are having a heterogeneous sources, right? So here we have the heterogeneous sources. It will be a flat file, it will be a Oracle, some SAP, Salesforce. Okay, different applications you may get the data and we can connect with IICS. We can load it into the data warehouse. Okay, so this is what the architecture you have to explain. Okay. If I'm explaining like risk and complaints team or the core team or payments team, okay, different teams you can explain. So I'm into this particular team, like a payments team or risk and complaints team. If you're explaining marketing team or the regulatory team, okay, merchant reporting, pricing, wealth management, finance team. So if you're explaining this, you can explain them like if for an example risk. So what are the different risk kind of data? So you'll be having different metrics, right? So you'll be taking different metrics from the EDW. So that's why we are going for the this particular data warehousing environment. So identifying and assessing the potential risk in the banking business. Okay. So a lot of metrics will be there. To take the metrics, we are doing the work. Okay, project work, and this is what we'll be doing it. And if you take, okay, so what are the different risk will be there? Okay, so I have given some documents. So just to go through these documents, okay, documents, it's available for the public only. So you can go through that. You can get some idea. Okay, so what are the different risk will be there uh, in the real-time projects, right? So what are the different types of risk? If they ask something about risk, you can explain them, like credit risk, operational risk, market risk, and liquidity risk. So different kind of risk you can explain them. So we cannot share any sensitive data information from outside of our network. I cannot show you any real-time data. Okay, so we should not do it. And yeah, this is what. But normally, this is what we will follow. So, so if you are working on risk team, whatever the reports we need to take, okay, as part of this particular project. For that, we need to collect the data from source system so that we can explain them. Or even say for an example, we were we were getting the data wealth management, some different vendor we used to have, but this vendor now replaced with another vendor. Okay, this particular you assume that this particular vendor is replaced with another vendor, XYZ vendor. So we need to go for decommission this existing one. We have to go for new applications, right? So that we have to, they will say like at least 3 to 4 months or sometimes 6 months, they will have some time period. Within that, they will go for the migration. So from here to here, we have to move. So whatever the target table we are using, we are going to use the same one. And whatever the new system we are having it, for that we need to build ETL logic. So it's existing mapping and everything. We are going to do it parallelly. We are going to run. And so already whatever it is pulling the data from source for this particular application, and we are building the parallel ETL mapping for this new applications. Okay. And once it is completed, we are scheduling this particular task. Okay. After that, after some time, if they are going to decommission, after that, this particular ETL flow, we will decommission it. We will we'll be using this particular ETL. So that's what we will manage it. Okay, so this is one kind of project. You can explain them. Okay, so in this current project, we were migrating from one application to another application. So whatever ETL logics we used to have in our previous one, so corresponding columns we have to how they are handling it. So all this we have to identify here, and we have to map it. We have to identify the equivalent columns to the new applications, and it should be mapped, and how we are calculating each and every columns that we have to do. So for this, first we have to do the mapping document, right? So normally we'll do the mapping documents. For an example, how the mapping documents look like. So this is one of the mapping documents. Normally you will be preparing as a developer, you will be preparing, or sometimes the business analyst will prepare it, or you will be working with business analyst to prepare this document, or you have to work with the business team, the vendor application. You have to work with them and identify the source table and columns. So whatever the data needed for the target, so how are we going to get the data from the source? So we need to go for from target to source. So we will have the target columns here and target definitions, business definition, business name, and then the column length, precision, scale, and everything will have it. And here we will have the transformation rules. So for each and every table, we'll have each and every column, we'll have the transformation logic. So how many tables we are joining it, and how are we getting the data from source, and all this we will get. So if you take the source system, so this is our source. So to get the target columns, target logic, so from where we need to get the data. So that we have to work with the business analyst to identify, and we have to prepare this particular document. Some projects we will prepare it as a developer in the development phase, or some project in the design phase. The business team, they will give us the logic, the overall logic. With this particular ETL, this STTM document, we will call it as a STTM document, source to target mapping sheet. So based on this STTM document, we'll be doing this mapping sheet. Okay. So policy details. If you see here, it's like some columns we have the direct mapping, some columns we have the some transformation logic we have. So based on that, we will be moving the data from source to target, right? Yes, this is what we will move. Based on the filter condition, join condition, everything will be mentioned here, and we'll be moving. Okay. Decommission means we are not going to use that particular system. They will shut down that particular system. Okay. We are not going to delete it. Delete is different. Okay. Decommission is different. We are not going to consume from the particular application, or we are not going to load the data to that particular database. Okay. After that, we are going to decommission it. Decommission means we are going to separate it. We are not going to do any consume the data or load the data. Okay. Yeah. So this is what we do have a different for the metrics, different kind of metrics. We are loading it. If we are going to make, okay, I'm going to make my resumes as like a banking domain or insurance domain or any domain. This risk team, yes, most of the domain we will have this risk team, complaints team, payments team. Yes, most of the insurance, all the domain will have the payments team, right? Without payments, none of the domain will be in real time. It will not be available, right? So definitely we'll be having a payments team. So different payments metrics you can take, and different kind of payments you can take. Okay. So types of payment, yes, we do have. I have given some documents here, so you can go through it to get some knowledge, domain related knowledge. So if you go through this particular documents, you will get, okay, so what kind of uh, the payments is happening in the real time, right? So you might be having a large value payments. It's like a bank to bank. The payment is happening, exchange, everything is happening, and retail payment. So mostly like retail payment with all the customers, like a cash payment, paper-based payment, like card payment, electronic payments, like a cryptocurrency. And so nowadays we have the QR code, pay later options. So a lot of different kind of payments is happening. So all the payments related data we will be collecting and storing into a data warehouse for the reporting purpose. Okay, so the company they wants to know at the end of the day which payment is happening more, and which is the more convenient, which the customer, okay, based on the customer base, they will analyze it. Last lot of analysis they will do. So all the analysis they will be doing by using this data in the data warehousing. So for that, we'll be collecting the data from heterogeneous sources and different applications also. So if you go through this, if they ask something, okay, so can you say some what kind of payments data you will be collecting and how this data is moving from source to target? Okay. See, if you are doing any transaction first you will be creating account, and then you will be doing the transactions. It will be authorized state, then it will be moving on to the pending state, then success state, and you will be doing the settlement. And if any dispute, you will be raising a dispute, and you will be going for the reversal. Yes. So this kind of different status that record will get changed. So all this you need to capture. We have to load it into the corresponding tables. So based on the status change and everything, we have to do the status update in the EDW tables. and based on that, the report will be created, right? So for that, we are loading the data into data warehouse. So this is what you have to explain them. Okay, if they ask more about this details. I have given some documents related to the domain. So whatever the domain you are going to make it. So the particular domain, we do have different kind of metrics. If it is banking domain, you can put any one of the team. Okay, so in banking, I'm working on this risk and complaints team. In banking domain, I'm working on the payments team. The banking domain, I'm working on the merchant reporting. So different kind of reporting. So merchant reporting for the reconciliation purpose, they will collect the data, right? So what is reconciliation? I think I have already explained. Reconciliation means for the merchant, they will be getting the payment to the bank, right? From the bank. Okay, so some say for an example, today in so bank has sent $100. One example I'm saying, okay, $100 or $100K, something like this. Okay, they're getting the payments in their bank account. Okay, then this is bank statement, they're getting it, and we are the service provider for that particular merchant. Then we need to send the same $100K, like all this should be matched. So it will be like how this $100K they are placing and all the details you have to provide them. Okay, as a report. So this report, it's like a dispute report, disbursement report. So kind of different reports, settlement report, reversal report, right? So different kind of reports will be running on the merchant side. And for that report, we'll be taking that. So they will be doing the reconciliation. If they are finding like differences in the data, then they'll be raising the ticket with the particular service provider. Then they need to answer them. Okay, it will be coming to the L1 support team or the live support team. They need to answer it. Okay, why this is happening? This particular transaction has they have raised the dispute. So because of that, they have deducted the amount, and it will be there. This particular deducted amount will be there in the dispute report, not in the disbursement report. Something we need to go for minus plus all this. They'll be getting it. All the calculation transformation logic will be applied, and it will be they'll be getting the reports. Okay, so that for that report, we'll be doing all this kind of transformation logic. It's based on the domain. Yes, based on the project, we'll be doing a lot of transformation logic. So who will provide the transformation logic? The business team. Okay, business analyst team or the product owner or the client ETL developers. Okay, technology officer. Different roles we'll be having in our client, and then they will be providing us. So we have to, or you might be getting the data directly from stakeholders. So this is what the expectation from this particular company. Then they will be building the logic, right? The business of the product team, they'll be creating the logics, and different products it will be created, and based on the products they will be giving their requirement. We have to get the data from source and we have to load it into the target system. So this is what we will normally do. And if they ask, can you tell some of the fact tables? Okay, so we do have transaction fact, sales fact, purchase item fact, invoice fact. A lot of fact tables are available. And so if you go to this particular link, you can find some fact tables used in the real-time project. So these fact tables are common. Dimension tables are common across different different domain. Okay. So account dimension, user dimension, customer dimension, date dimension, product regions, branch, store dimensions, employee dimensions. So all this will be having different dimension table. We'll be loading the data. So mostly the dimension table will have the load data like SVD type 2 date method we'll be using. So is there any code? Okay, so that's what. For the migration, if you ask migration from Informatica Power Center to IICS, so it is happening in different way. So we are facing a lot of issues in the migrations. Okay, so the one is the first one, the from the scratch. Okay, the new development. So whatever we are doing it, new development. So all the new development is doing only in the IICS environment. Okay, most of the companies are doing only in the IICS environment, not in the Informatica Power Center. Why? Because they are going to move on to IICS. And whatever we have, okay, so already we are having Informatica Power Center, so that we want to move it. If it is direct mapping one-to-one load, yes, you can have. Uh, so you can create Power Center task. Okay, so it's a temporary only. The Power Center task is temporary only. So why? Because after that you cannot modify it. Okay, if you want to modify anything, some columns, you want to add it or you want to delete it after some time, 6 months. The source team, they have added a column. That column to be brought up to the EDW. Then you have to do the changes in Informatica Power Center only, not in IICS. You cannot do it. So temporarily, you can use the Power Center task to create Informatica Power Center component to this one. The third one, you can go for the migration utilities. Okay, so migration utilities. See, this migration utilities, we have some utilities are available. Okay, so migration factory you have. So based on that, so from Informatica Corporation, so we do have IICS, so PC2 IICS migration factory. You need to pay for that. The Informatica team, okay, the vendor, you have to work with the vendor team, Informatica team. Then they'll be helping you to create component. Okay, from Informatica Power Center to IICS migrations, they'll be helping out. That particular tool will change. It will change the Informatica Power Center XML file into our IACS component file. Then from that we have to take. Even if you are converting it, it is not 100% is converting. Okay, if you are converting like 10 different mapping, so at least 6 mapping it getting successful. Remaining 4 mapping we are finding issues. It is not fully converted. So whatever we are not converting, we are developing from the scratch. So this is what it is happening. Okay, so migration factory, and yeah, this is what you can use. And some internal utilities. Okay, so they will have some internal utilities. Some companies, they are creating their own utilities. Okay, their own utilities to convert this XML file to this IACS file, zip file component. They do have some code, the Python or different code they are using, and it is converting the IECS Informatica Power Center XML file to IECS XML file. So from that you can use. See, these are all the different method for the migration. But as of now, very successful migration is new development in IECS. That's why most of the code, they are doing it in the IECS only. Like, separate team, they are doing it like Informatica Power Center. Sorry, IECS directly, they are checking the Informatica code and then they are developing it. Okay. And yeah, migration factory, yes, you can update it. Okay, update up. It will be converted, okay, to IACS mappings and everything. You can import it to IACS, then you can do the modifications in IACS. Okay. So if they ask something about the migration, you can explain. This is what in the real time also it's happening. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the dimension table, we do have different dimension table. Okay, so what are the different documents we will prepare in the real-time projects? So from the requirement, okay, so some conventional projects still they are using like a documents, more documents they are preparing. And some project they are working on completely on the agile. They will not focus on more on document. Okay, they will create a Confluence page, and the requirement will be we'll be getting through user stories as a from the Jira. User stories will be assigned to the particular developer and developers start working on it. Okay. So, but some projects still they are using like a, so if you take 100 years old bank, okay, they are not, still they are using like previous process, all the previous process. They are not migrating to new technologies. So in that case, yes, they are developing it like small banks and all the most of the banks, they're still using all the conventional model development, then testing, QA different testing, and we'll go for different UAT testing, then CAB approval, CR, right? Change request we need to raise, for any deployment in the production. Then we have to go for the go live. So go live will be happening at the Friday. So this is what normally they will follow it. Okay, still they are following it. See requirement, yes, from the system requirement specification to a document you have to prepare or user stories. If it is agile methodology, we are creating a user stories. And effort estimation. Some project, the project manager or the technical lead, we will do the effort estimation. Okay, for this particular project, if we need to complete by this particular day, this is what the resources are needed. The effort estimation they will do. Okay, these many resources are needed. If one resources is making 8 hours per day, by this particular these many components has been you can develop it by this particular year, we can complete this particular task. So that's what effort estimation we will be doing it. And once effort estimation ETA has been fixed, we'll go for the design. Okay, so different design like a high level design, low level design. And high level design will have high level the architecture and how the data is flowing from source system to target system. So who is consuming the data? So how are we going to make the scheduler? All this we will do it on the high level design. Low level design, each and every tables, their precision columns, each and every logic STTM document, everything will be prepared, and the low level design we will do it. So once all these are completed, we'll go for the development. So development summaries, unit testing. If the developer completing the testing, it is called unit testing, and unit testing run script. So run script means whatever the script we are going to run in the development environment or QA environment or UAT environment, that particular script should be taken, the log should be captured. Okay, so whether it has been completed, yes, you are creating a table or you are altering the table, whether it has been altered, yes, the screenshot and the script you have to take. So that particular script you have to provide for the CAB approval. Rollback script, if anything goes wrong, so how can I roll back it to the previous state? Then you have to go for rollback script. Conference page, yes, you have to create a conference page for how this how the development has been completed. All this you have to capture it, and what are the queries you have to execute. All this, how the data is flowing from source to target. All this you have to explain so that if newcomers, for any new project is coming, it will be useful for others. Then testing. So the separate QA team, you might be having it, they will be doing the testing, or you will be doing the testing. Okay, the particular development team itself, they'll be doing the testing. Okay, so it depends on the project. Some project they will have separate QA team, some project they will have the development team itself, they'll be doing the testing. And the testing sign off, yes, testing sign off, they need to provide. So once it has been signed off, it will be move on to the QAT, UAT or SIT or pre-production, anything. Okay, so all these are pre-prod only, but we do have some pre-prod environment where the data and volume, everything will be maintained as per the production. But only thing is we will not have production data. We will mask it all the data and we will load it into a lower environment. We can use it. Okay, masking all this. And for the CAB approval, we have to prepare everything and we have to go for the CAB approval, change advisory board approval. They will approve it. It will go for the production, go live. Okay. It's the way of working from each and every project team. It differs a little bit. But this is the steps we will follow. And some project will have the L1 support team, L2 support team, L3 support team. So L1 is level 1 of support. All the so first level of escalation, they will take it. When any infrastructure related stuff, then they will contact to L2. Any code level support needed, they will go for L3 support team. Okay, I have shared one video on the support, production support task, uh, like 2 days before. So if you have time, just to go through that, I have already explained. So completely on the production support. So how the production support will be happening in the Informatica environment as well as IICS environment. Okay, so just to go through that, you can able to get all the steps clearly. Okay, and so I got some questions. In IICS, how we move from dev to QA? In Power Center, we have the use development group. Yeah, that's what. See, different teams, we will use different way of deployment. Okay. So we do have some DevOps tool, like development and operation tools. So based on that, we'll be moving. I will tell you, okay, so what are the DevOps tool we'll be using it. And do we have something like PMCMD for IICS? Yes, from from uh, after deploying into your code into production, you are going to trigger from the scheduler only, right? So you have to mention where is the your path, so where you have deployed and how you are going to execute it, the process. So it will be on the Informatica server only, it will get executed, but it will be connected with Informatica cloud. So how to create high level and low level documents. So if you go to real time project, they will give you some sample document. So based on that, you have to create it. Okay. So it's like some Microsoft VCO you have, right? So based on by using VCO, you have to place some uh, the source and target architecture and you have to pull the data. So if each and every that's what I told. PM CMD command we do not have in IACS directly. Okay. So we have to deploy the code into Informatica cloud. Okay. From it will be available in the network. So from the scheduler, we will schedule it. So what is the, I will show you how to do it. Okay. We do not have any PM CMD command or PM rep command here. Okay. And yeah, so how many environments will be there in the real-time projects? If you ask me, so mostly like 4 environments will be there. Okay, you will be having a development environment, then you'll be having a QA, then you'll be having a UAT or SIT, or it might be a pre-production or mock environment. Then you'll be having a production environment. Okay, go live, like a prod environment. Okay, so production. So something like a mock environment, we'll call it as it's a mock. Okay, so different name they will call it as so mock environment or UAT environment or pre-prod. So different naming convention they will use based on the projects. Okay, so mock environments means it's similar to production, but data will not be available as a production. You will have access, at least execute access, you will have it. And here QA, only QA team will have access, and development, everyone will have access. Okay, dev team will have all the permissions, like all the privileges will have. So after this, after creating this particular component, okay, in development environment, the Informatica, yes, you have to take the zip file, right? IACS will be taking that zip file. So you have to export the zip file and you have to keep it like the component. And you will be all the connections and everything, mapping, task and everything will be available in the particular zip file. Then you'll be using SQL. Okay, so if you are using any DDL statement, DML statement, SQL file, you'll be using it. And this SQL also will be keeping it. And if you have anything like a scheduler or the command, okay, so you'll be using the command for creating the automation script. If you're using anything, then command you should have. And the scheduler, okay, scheduler we need to have. And scheduler also we will use it. See, all this component we will have it. We will create a build for this. Okay, so different teams will work on different way. Okay, some project they will create a deployment group and then they will deploy it into another environments. Okay, so some project they will use completely on the DevOps tool. Okay, so by using the DevOps tools, first we will keep this particular uh, we will create a branch in the Git. Okay, so for an example, if this is the Git master branch or main branch, okay, so from the main branch we should create, so all the component we will keep it. Okay, sorry. So master branch, you assume that this is my master branch is available already. Then I will create one the branch here. Okay, branch here for my projects. So these component I do have in my local. So I will just clone it. Okay, I will just upload it into a branch. Okay, and then I will check the status and everything, and then I will commit into this main branch. So once it has been committed, okay, you'll be getting some the path. Okay, based on the path, so you'll be having a deployment tool. So you'll be using deployment tool like, so you need to get the artifact. So say for an example, we have artifact here. So artifact we have to get. So artifact is nothing but it's like a bundle. So we will get one build file. So this artifact we have to use like a deployment tool, like Ansible Tower is one of the deployment tool. Okay. So Ansible Tower will be using it, or we'll be using something like a Jenkins. So you'll be using the tool called Jenkins, and different tools we might be using it. So just we have to provide this particular artifact path, repository path, and where the target repository we need to select it. Okay, say for an example, we are going to select QA path, QA server. So this server we have to select it, and who is deploying it, all the information we have to provide. And if you are deploying it, it will get deployed. So QA and mock environment up to here we can do it. Okay, from here to here we can do it, but the production one we cannot do it. So once QA deployment has been completed, then QA team or our team will do the QA testing. And once it is testing has been completed, the same way you have to get the artifactory from QA, the latest one, and we have to move on to the pre-prod. So we have to test it here. Up to here we can do it. So once to here we have done, you have to appear for the CAB approval. So if they are approving it, same artifactory, the latest version, you have to give it to the production support team, the deployment team, separate deployment team will be there, and they will be deploying into the production, and they will do one dry run. Okay, so one dry run they will do it, and then they will test it. It will be mostly on the Friday evening. It will be happening. So this is what the deployment will happen. Okay, it depends on the projects. Some project they will use Ansible Tower, some project they will use Jenkins. So all the artifact and everything will be, all the version will be maintained in the Git. Okay, so Git is the tool. It will be integrated with IICS. Okay, so Informatica Corporation, they will connect with the Informatica admin. Then it will be integrated with the Git. All this will be maintained in the Git itself. Okay, so we are not going to maintain any like versions, check-in, check-out and all. How we will use it in our Informatica Power Center, that we are not using it in IICS directly. Okay, so it will be integrated with Git only, and then from the Git only it will be used. Some project they will use Ansible Tower, some project they will use Jenkins, some project they will use different tools. Okay, internal tools they will be using it, and lot of DevOps tools will be available. Okay, so we have the Bitbucket, we have the Bamboo plan. So different Jenkins, Nolio, Nexus, something like different deployment tools are available. So based on the tool, they will be migrating. They will be running the mappings into this particular uh, the target environments. We are doing it. So that's what in real-time project we are doing this deployment. So why go live will happen only on Fridays? That's what they will see. It depends on the company. Okay, so even they 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 might be thinking that uh, the Friday evening, right? They will go for the less transaction is happening on the days, business days. If something goes wrong, we cannot fix it, right? So we cannot wait for the business to address it. If it is on the weekend, yes, so less impact on the business. So that's why we are keeping it on the Friday evening. Okay, but it's very conventional model nowadays. Agile methodology, there is no Friday evening and all concept here. So in Agile, 100% anytime you can deploy it. There is no downtime required. Okay, that's what they have built the system. Okay, and yeah, if some projects very small, banking or small uh, companies still they are using conventional model, but most of the project they moved on to Agile. Anytime you can deploy it. Okay, it is not only Friday. Anytime you can deploy. Okay, yeah, these are all the deployment tools we'll be using it. So if you want to know, okay, if you are they are asking like, so how will you deploy IACS in the Ansible Tower? So you can go and check here, deployment in Informatica, IACS or anything, Informatica Cloud. Okay, so how we will do the deployment. Okay, so normally we cannot show the real-time one here. So that's why the environment we cannot show it here. You can see this particular tool. Okay, so if I get any tool, okay, so I can show you so how it will be integrated with all this. So if you see this, so this is it will be integrated with GitHub also. Okay, CI is continuous integration, continuous deployment. Okay, pipeline using Ansible Tower. So first you have to do the provision, inventory, build and test and clean up. So this is what will happen. So you'll be creating a branch and then you'll be doing all the code commit and everything. Then you have to do the merging into the main branch. After that, you have to go for the deployment. Okay, merge into the branch, the code and do the commit and everything. So you have to learn some Git Git command as well. Okay, some command you have to uh, go through and how it will be integrated with this particular tool. You can, yeah, we can learn. So if you go to real-time project, these things they will give you the KT. Okay, so why? Because you might have used different DevOps tools for the deployment, but here you can say if they are asking, okay, so what kind of deployment tool you have used, so how you will move the code from development to other environments, you can tell them in our current project, we are using Ansible Tower, we are using Jenkins, and we are using the Git for latest version. We will create a branch and we will do the code commit and to the merge branch, master branch, we will merge it. And this artifact, we will collect it. And this repository link, we will get it. Uh, Go to Ansible Tower, give the repository link, and you provide the destination repository and deploy it. So click on deploy, it will get deployed. Okay. So this is what will happen. So even in our one of the projects, we are not using any separate tool. Okay. So we do have internal tool. It's like Olympus tool, some different tools we have, data ALM, some different tools will be having it. So by using that tool, we'll be moving. We just mention that repository and folder name, all this, and just we will upload the component into the path and then deploy. It will get deployed. That's it. So once deployed, we have to deploy the scheduler. So from the scheduler, we have to execute and then we have to see whether it is completing or not. If it is not completing, yes, why we have to check why it is not completing and we have to fix the error. So this is what it will happen. Okay. Yes, we will stop here and the rest of the questions, rest of the topics like Agile. So how the Agile will be working on and different tools and everything, I will explain it tomorrow. Okay, so they will ask what is Jira ticket. So how we will raise a ticket through Jira, ServiceNow, Confluence. See all this, they might be asking the questions. I will explain you. So what is that? Okay. So parameter variable recorded session has not been shared on 17th. Not shared? I have shared already. Others, you got it? Parameters variable not shared? I hope I have shared it. Can anyone confirm? Different one. Is it? Can anyone confirm you got different one for the parameter and variable? You got it, but have you gone through the same video which I have taken, right? Or different video? I don't think. Let me check one more time today, which one I have shared. Got the recording. Okay. Yeah, YouTube link only. Daily I'm sending YouTube only, right? Video unavailable. Video unavailable or private you are getting. Okay, so these things I will take it later. I will check it. Private. See, how many times I have to explain this private, all this. See, private means you are accessing the video from different email account or different YouTube account. Okay. If it is private, then it is you are in some mistake you are doing it. I have already uh, gave explanation also very first day. Okay, I'm not sure whether you have listened first day session. If they ask project flow, we have to say the project architecture. Yes. Let me check your parameters and variable session today, and I will respond. Okay. So day 30. Okay. Let me check it. Yeah. So we have 5 minutes more. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I will explain. The remaining topic, I will take it tomorrow. So tomorrow I will complete the the project one. And day after tomorrow, we'll see the task level properties. I will explain. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Um, Good morning, sir.
Mhm.
Actually, yesterday you told us about CAI, and that is steps about CAI. When the third step was Swagger files creation.
Mhm.
The Swagger file creation is giving an error. That's the third step, and the fourth step is REST v2 connection. Actually, the REST v2 connection has to be given, and then the Swagger files has to be created. First, as per the steps, I just went on like that, and the third step was Swagger file creation, and it's just throwing an error saying that's wrong, like the creation cannot happen. Then I went to the fourth step, created the REST, that is REST v2 connection, and then the Swagger file got created.
Oh, okay. I
And
changed the order.
yes, the
You mean
third
to
step
say
has to be the REST
no?
v2
It
connection.
should work. Okay, it should work. Let me check it. Okay.
Okay.
You mean to say you haven't added the connections, and then
Yes.
you tried with Swagger file. It is not connecting.
Yes.
It should work. Okay, let me check it.
Because yesterday it worked because you already had the REST v2 connection in your laptop, I feel.
No, no, no. Very first time I did it right. So that time itself I have created in that order only.
Oh,
Okay, it
really?
should work.
Because it was throwing an error for 2, 3 times, and then I was just trying to make the connection and then create the file.
Okay.
Then it was okay.
So so you might not have added that V2 from the add-on connectors to this one, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I might have already added. I will change the order,
Yeah,
okay?
that is what I'm saying. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I'll
like the
update it.
fourth step goes to the third one, and the third one Swagger file goes to the fourth step.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Azure, I do not know. Okay. I haven't worked on Azure. I worked on GCP, I worked on AWS. Okay. Any other questions related to projects, this architecture and
Uh,
all?
Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
One more. Like, if a source file doesn't have any data at all,
Mhm.
like there's nothing in there, and I tried to make uh, some uh, hard code values in expression or something, and then try to load it into target. Will it load?
No, what is the requirement? What is the business use case?
It's just like that. I was trying to
No, no.
load some
The
random file.
no, if it is 0 KB file, you should not load the data into target. That's a usage. I'm asking you.
I mean to say, it's an empty file without column name or anything in the
Okay,
file. It's just an
okay.
empty file
Mhm.
with some like I just want to put some output ports in the expression and then load it into the target, which has column names and all.
Okay, if you do not have any data in the file, We have to put some dummy data in the file, sorry, in the target.
Yeah, something like that. Yes. Like
Okay.
what I did was I took some department number, something in the expression like an output port. Like if you take um, create date or create timestamp, something like that. And if it is a create date, if you give a sys date and just give it to the target without any data in the source.
Mhm. Yeah, so different use cases. Say, for an example, if you do not have source data, okay, so no need to trigger our Informatica flow itself, right? Why you are using some dummy data? Even if you are getting some dummy data, if you are not getting any file, 0 KB file you are getting, then check the count. Okay, check the count of the data. If count is equal to 0, then put some
Okay.
dummy data if you are having it. Okay. So
Okay.
how you are finding that it doesn't have any data? The source file doesn't have
Like
any data.
I just created a source file. Like in Power Center, without the column name, we can load the data into the target, right?
I think your requirement is different. It is not 0 KB file, I think.
It's like not data load. It's like mapping is not getting successful.
Okay, so yeah, so you
I
call me
was
after
like,
some time. I will explain. Okay,
yeah.
even I'm not able to
It's
get
like
your
I
what
got
is your
this.
requirement.
Okay, I got this doubt when I was doing this API, like the
See,
web.
that's okay. See, but you are having 0 KB file. Your
Yeah.
requirement, if the 0 KB file is placed in the source, do you
Uh-huh.
want to load the data or you want to load some dummy data? Am I correct?
No, not the data. It's just the mapping that will be successful or not.
Yeah, it will be successful, right? If it is 0 KB, it will get successful. The file is
No,
available.
it's not getting successful.
It will successful. It will be successful.
Okay. It's saying null error. Uh, it says
Why should we get null error?
it says null error, and then I went into the empty file and tried to introduce one column. Then it is getting loaded. With the 0 KB file, it's not getting loaded at all.
No, you see, if it is a header file, you have to place the empty header file, right? Data
Oh,
is
okay.
0 KB, but if it is empty file, yes, you need to place a header file, right?
Without header, I mean to say.
Okay, then we have to process a different way only, not in this way. Okay, if it is 0 KB file, we have to check before starting the ETL load, we have to check it in the command task. If it is more than 0 KB, we have to proceed with the next task. Then it will read. If it is 0 KB file, in the command task itself, we have to go to another flow saying that trigger one email that it doesn't have any data today. That's what you have to do it, right?
Yeah, but Power Center it works, right? So that's why I thought we can we doing this or not?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. What are the tools are using in the unit testing? Unit testing, go through my expression transformation video. I have explained. Okay, what are the tools we'll use? I am unable to see parameters and variables. It is the same session. I'm not sure whether you are looking at the correct video. 1 minute. Let me check from my end. Yeah, these things and all you ask me directly to WhatsApp group. Okay, WhatsApp group, it has been created for that purpose only. You can ask me now itself. I can that time itself I should have checked it, right. It might be wasting others' time also. 1 minute now itself I will check. Parameters and variables day 30 for IICS, right? Okay, this is the one I have posted. See, this is the one you should have received it. I don't think why you are alone getting different one. So up to is, so how can I pass the value in the parameter? So we are going to pass today. Okay. I am able to see parameter and variables. It is the same session. Then what is your question? I got XML, JSON, Excel files in mail on 17th. Yeah, I have sent it. I have resent with the exercises. Okay, I think some of them are joining like occasionally and you are asking all these questions, right? I don't think you are regularly joining the class. Okay, so we will stop here. If you have any other questions related to your mail or something, you let me know in the WhatsApp group. I will answer it. Okay. Thank you all. We will meet tomorrow, same time.